All right, we're gonna stand for the...
Rose.
I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'm going to solemn prayer for our town and our country. Amen. Okay, it is December 6th, 5:30 evening. We're at the Municipal Center. Can I have the roll call, please?
Scott Murphy,
Here.
Rick Weber.
Here.
Greg Forney.
Here.
All right. Rose Jackson. Here. Elizabeth Skinner is absent. Chris Chapman
Here.
and Susan Webster's here. We have the quorum.
Okay, good. Let's review the minutes of last meeting of the 22nd of November. If anybody has any additions or corrections, and we'll do common consent. Everything looked good to me, but everything looked good? All right, common consent on that, guys. All right, persons before council. Hunter, you
Yes.
are up.
I'm actually down, but the power plant for all the lanterns and everything is at 100%. Every socket's working, everything's working there. So if we ever, and I hope we don't, have a fire, let's check them before we sign off on the insurance like the courthouse fire. Our next event is at the high school by Hope Community Church. They will be showing a white Christmas. Doors open at 6 o'clock and showing at 6:30. Free popcorn, free water. Then Mr. John Gash is bringing on December 17th at 7 p.m. at the Catholic Church a professional singer. She sounds good on here, but her name is Tatsuti or something like that. I don't know, but she sounds great. Okay, and last on my list is the class of 2022 Angel Awards. In business and organizations is Bath Auto Sales, Beto Septic Service, who also donated the porta pots for the parade this year. Berkeley Springs Brewery Company, Fleur de Lille Cheese Shop. I don't know if I said that right or not.
Fleur de Lis.
There you go. Thank you. Country Tradition Emporium, Dexter's Laboratory, Good Luck Stables, Hope Community Church, Lighthouse Latte, Off the Hook by Ashley, The Panorama, Skeeters Auto Body, and The Bug Man. And individual awards went to Ed Brathwaite, Donatella Bennett, Bill Clark, G.W. Easton, Rick Franklin, John Gash, David Kearns, Chris Mason, Kenny McCoy, Todd Palmer, Terry Reed, Faith Simmons, and Christina Wall. And that's wraps it up for me.
Very nice. Well,
Everybody have a Merry Christmas.
Thank
You
you,
too.
Ron.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Thank you for
Thank
doing
you.
all you do. All right. Rebecca, you're up.
Thanks. I wanted to let you know that the West Virginia Center on Budget and Policy is planning on coming to Berkeley Springs January the 3rd. And they are nonpartisan, nonprofit policy research organization. The people on their board are professors from WVU, Marshall, a few other colleges in West Virginia. And they're focused on most of the board members have been involved in West Virginia for a long time, doing improvements with budget, the incarceration system, childhood development, health policy. So it's a wide variety of people that inform the nonprofit. They want to provide data and analysis of the state economic situation in light of what the legislature is planning to do for the next session. I think it would be good for us to have as many people with the government there telling them what we need and helping them understand not only the legislature, but the nonprofit what they could focus on to help us improve our situation in terms of access to funds, financial opportunities for small businesses, just all sorts of things. So they are focused on doing better communication between the community and our legislators, so that we can help inform the direction. And some of the topics that they would probably touch on would be Amendment 2 and why that came about in the first place, what it tells us that, what they're trying to do, what the opportunities are, and what the negative aspects of it were. An analysis of tax cuts and tax policy in regard to whether it helps us generate jobs and provide economic development. It'd be really good for the Planning Commission, because one of the major goals of the last comprehensive plan was economic development, recognizing that economic development drives all the other things that we want to do. The preservation, the Historic Landmarks Commission, the watershed protection, the flooding, the green infrastructure. We need funding, and we need our legislators to help us find that funding. There's apparently a budget surplus now. I don't know. And so they're going to talk about that.
But Amendment 2 did fail.
It failed, but you think that really they're going to let it go?
I don't know. I just don't just happen.
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. It seems like, there are forces at work that are attempting to direct the funds that are generated locally toward the state to make decisions about public safety, local government, other issues. And I think the Center on Budget and Policy could maybe help us. I mean, not only help tell us what's going on, but listen to us to help us crack the code. We have difficulty with some of the agencies that will remain nameless that we have grants with that just don't get the work done. And in return, they take money from the town. You have several grants where the money has sat at the state for months and months and no work gets done. So, I mean, this is a two-way street, and this is an opportunity. I'm working with Lynn Goodwin, and I'm hoping that maybe we can set up the meeting right after the council session. And that way have a place where you can get some food, maybe the Country Inn if it works out. So you can get, they have their specials and stuff on. And then just have a meeting. It's more of a town hall type stuff. So the guy, I forget his name, DeSantano, I think, would provide a brief introduction and everything, and then we have the opportunity to make comments and ask questions and talk about what we need. So
You're talking January 3rd after the council meeting?
Yeah, if that works out.
Yeah,
I would do it before, but I think people, are busy earlier in the day.
And I guess
Yeah.
we can look them up also and kind of read about them. and
Please
kind of
do.
figure out-
Look at their board. They have advisory committees, and they focus on certain issues. But I think, one of our issues is how do we get state funding to help us do what we need to do in the town? And how do they support small business to help make the town, really work?
Can you send that information to Sharon so she can blast it all out to us, Rebecca, please?
And then put the minutes.
Sure.
Wow.
Okay.
Okay.
Anybody have any questions?
hearing more about
Okay, all right. All right, well, we'll go on to communications from the mayor. Christmas parade. Danielle, come forward. I want to thank Danielle for everything she did, her and Brianna and Cody Ford on Saturday night. They got the parade together. Danielle basically worked on it mostly by herself up until the last week to 2 weeks. I want to thank her very much because when I came on board here, that's the first thing I said. I wanted to see a Christmas parade, and they said to me, "Hey, can we work on it?" And I said, "Run with it," and they did. How many entries did you have?
96.
96 entries in our parade, so unbelievable. Some of them were like really elaborate. I'm like, unbelievable. So, and that's what this town's all about. I mean, what the Christmas committee has done, I want to thank them too, in decorating and getting the lanterns up and getting all the stuff done that needs to be done to bring back kind of that some childhood memories when I used to come through town from Hancock, especially up at the old Harbor Mill property up where the law office is up at Trump and Trump. When they had the sleigh, Santa's sleigh, and the reindeer and everything. So town looks really good. And like I said, I wanted to thank Danielle personally for all the work she did for us. And I'll give her the floor if she has anything to say about the parade. Thank you, Danielle. Thank you. Okay. We got the Deck the Meter project on here. I think most of them are pretty well up. There may be a few maybe straggle along. I don't know. Four may straggle along, but they look good. Like I said, the town is looking really, really good for the Christmas season.
You can tell people are into it. They're
Yeah.
personally involved.
And I
They
think
love
there's a
it.
lot
They
of
love
people
it.
this year especially that has gotten into it more because of the last 2 or 3 years with the COVID. We weren't able to do a lot. People weren't able to get out a lot. And this year, everybody, I don't know how many people were at the parade, but it was pretty packed.
It's good.
I was really, really surprised. So, but they surprised me the first year that they had the parade. I told my wife, I said, I'm leaving to go down to the parade down there. I said, I'll be back in 15 or 20 minutes. And I got down there and we started through town and I'm like, what? And that was the first parade we had. And I come home that night about 3 hours later. And my wife says, where you been? I said, well, I said, there was a little more people than I thought was going to be there. So it was, it's been very exciting. And I'm tickled to death what the town looks like. It's just great. So anyway, and then we have a little letter in our packet here from the Mountain State Cruisers. They're requesting their cruise-ins on the first Friday of each month from May to September. And they would like permission to block off Fairfax Street between US 522 and Wilk Street for these events. The dates to cruise in are May 5th, June 2nd, July 7th, August 4th, and September 1st. In addition, on Saturday, June 17th, 2023, they'll be holding their annual Father's Day car show. In addition to blocking off the portion of Wilk Street mentioned above, we are requesting the permission to create a non-parking area along 522 South. This would extend from the traffic light to the entrance of the swimming pool parking area, country and entrance. The time of that show is going to be 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. They need to start setting up at 6:30. They've done this for so long. It's just kind of become a standard in our town during the summertime. And I would implore the council to go ahead and authorize this to happen and give consent to it.
Police have no problems with the dates or what's going on.
I don't know.
Doesn't
look like it's coincides with any holiday.
We're okay. Yep, we're okay, Danny. I'll just give you the okay sign.
Okay,
So,
so I'll make a motion that we
I'll
accept.
second it.
all right. Got a motion and second on the floor. Any more discussion on this matter? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
I have one thing. Today is December the 6th, and I bet you there's not really anybody in this building that knows what today is.
My daughter
It's the date that the town of Bath was established by the Virginia Assembly in 1776. So today we're 247 years old.
Wow.
And we have such great people in town. We might want to start working on a big thing for the 250th coming up, and it might take a couple
Yeah.
years. So,
Yeah.
but anyway, this is
Here.
I know. Well, it's news
So,
people that
yeah.
are doing so well.
Yep.
You know, so-
Yep, well, that's
but
great. I
anyway, it's
didn't
our
realize
birthday.
that. I was thinking
Uh-huh.
December 7th tomorrow?
Well, tomorrow,
Yeah.
Pearl Harbor, which is
So,
a huge deal.
so everybody thank our veterans and everything for everything
I
they've
feel
done.
every year of it too, about 247 years.
Oh, my. Okay. Thank you, Susan. Bath Development, their next meeting is tomorrow, 4:30 at the courthouse. And we also need to put on there, for next meeting for the
The
bylaw amendment change.
Yeah.
We didn't get that on there this time. Yeah.
One question I had about that, I noticed on there, they were talking about changing the number of members. Remember what we went through with the HLC?
It's not the number of
Are you sure?
members, it's the number of members necessary for a quorum.
Okay, so it's not looking at the total number of members.
And that's very specific in the
Okay.
statute.
Yeah, that's why I
That
asked.
has to be,
That's
Yeah.
why, okay, we're good.
Thanks, Rick. Yeah.
Good.
Okay, good deal. Parks and Recs, we filled that position. So hopefully we'll be hearing about,
I saw one of the members and they couldn't have their last meeting because of lack of quorum. Yeah, they didn't have anything to report or give to us, but I think they do understand that we want to hear from them.
absolutely, we want to know what's going on so we can put it out there so, everybody can get involved. Okay, Planning Commission?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. We met last week for our monthly meeting. We're still focusing on the rollout of Lotus drug treatment and mental health. We have a mental health professional here who helped us understand a lot of the things that are in the Lotus Certificate of Need and how that process works in the state of West Virginia. So that's helping us to better understand how the opportunities and risks of that entity within our town. Secondly, we continue with our weekly working groups. Last week included a tour of the waterworks. So Chris, appreciate you coordinating that. That was great. Absolutely amazing. And I would encourage anybody in the town, citizen, whatever, go link up ahead of time and try to understand all the things that go on in that one relatively small building for this community. It's absolutely amazing to see. And the very few people that are involved with making all that happen and their scope of responsibilities. It's massive. And again, really expanded our knowledge of that for the town planning commission. And just a note, the planning commission members, it was great because I saw these guys at and ladies at every one of the events this weekend. So, as far as being out there, we're always out there kind of surveying, people like you talked about, Mr. Mayor, from the parade. There's people, they say, yeah, we used to go to Hancock. Now we come here. People who from Berkeley Springs who used to go to Hancock are now staying at home. So you hear a lot of that feedback. So I would echo your point that this weekend specifically was a great event for the town in promoting tourism for our economic development while taking care of our citizens. That was a big point for the last planning commission in the surveys that were done that said, yeah, we're doing all this stuff for economic development, but what about the locals? Right. And to me, this weekend was a great example of those kind of events that are the win-win. It brings people in for economic development while showing the people of the town how much the government does for them. So great job for all the various entities that had something to do with it. It wasn't just the town, obviously. So thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Anybody questions? Any questions for Larry? Okay. Thanks. Okay, Rails and Trails. We got a little excerpt in here that you can read in your spare time. There's not a whole lot going on right now, so they're kind of in the waiting stages.
Right, the county has submitted a revision on the 404 permit for the trail. We don't know what the holdup is, but there is some question about who will end up completing the remediation on 1A. The part that right now isn't being reflected in the design is the hillside, which is grass.
Okay, right.
We have to add 12 inches of material to that grass. I would be fine if we did it, because at the same time we could use the bricks that we have stored and turn it into kind of seating for the pavilion that we would like to get.
Yeah.
But the county's already provided funding for the trail, and DOH originally said that they would do that remediation. Oh, we don't know what's going on.
Or when they would ever do it.
Right.
Right. We could, I mean, there's plenty of fill coming.
I mean, we can always present it to the county and see what takes, it's our land, so,
I know.
you know, I mean, we.
And you have the signed remediation plan with DEP that said that you're responsible for the remediation.
Right.
DOH said they would do it.
Well, I mean, I don't have a problem with it if we can find the people to,
And the money.
and the money. So,
What are we talking money-wise?
yeah, what are we talking? Do you have any idea money wise?
We
Roughly?
spent about 45,000 on parcel 3, but we put 18 to 40 inches of material on there. We only need 12.
Right,
We already have the bricks, and we could probably get the fill for free.
I was gonna say, we can probably, if we can work a deal with, we got the fill before.
So it'd be more
Yeah.
the grading and shaping and hauling of the material.
Yeah.
So it would be definitely in the ballpark of around,
We could
I
try
don't know,
that.
maybe 30,
Um,
35, I don't know. Haven't done an estimate on it. But just
If you can kind of maybe over the next
tuck it
month or
away
so,
right
kind
now.
of
Yeah.
kind of give us an idea, because we got budget time coming up. Maybe we can figure out something. Because I would rather us do it too, because we
done.
can do it to the way we wanted to, and we already have the what we have to do, how much we have to do with the remediation to make it pass and be to where the specs need to be. And I would love to see that, because I'd love to see some of those bricks used and some of those pavers. That would be really, really cool.
It would be kind of like, if anybody's been to Frederick City, where they have the amphitheater area
Mhm.
along Carroll Creek.
Because they're down there along the waterway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A couple of tiers.
That would
Not
be-
really large.
Yeah,
The other fill that we got was from Silica.
Right, we had certified clean fill, which was worth $30,000 in kind for the last grant that we had. We could probably get certification from the bypass material potentially, or use silica. So I think
Right.
the
It's out
fill's
there.
not a problem.
Yeah, we got her here.
Yeah.
We got
Yeah.
okay. Well, kind of, if you get a chance, just sketch down,
Okay.
see what you think we're looking at. Because like I said, I think that would be really cool if we could put some of those pavers down, and then, eventually put up a plaque saying, this has been paved with pavers that came from Fairfax Street, and, kind of put a commentation on how they became from there to there and all that. I think that would be really cool.
That's a selling point for a grant too.
Yep,
Yeah.
yep,
Yeah.
absolutely. So like I said, if you could sketch something down, I mean, it doesn't have to be 100%, but kind of give us an idea of what we're looking at, and we'll see if we can make it happen. Okay? All right, thanks, Rebecca. Streetscapes, did he give you anything on that?
We are still waiting for the notice to proceed. We've got everything signed, the documentation's all ready. We're just waiting on the state, and last I heard, it was on somebody's desk and they had to sign the paper. And it's been sitting on their desk now for several weeks.
Wow.
So what will happen once we get that, we'll arrange for Thrasher to come into town. Pete and I will probably be going around to the affected properties and talking to them one-on-one first, and then bring the engineer in with feedback from the property owners. Just as a refresher, we'll be doing Independence both sides on the east side from Mercer to Washington, and then Wilkes from Independence to Union. And looking at lighting on Mercer.
Okay. All right. Thank you. All right, Susan, Train Depot.
Okay, we had a owners meeting on November the 30th. Things are proceeding down there. If you want to go down and look in the windows, you certainly can. The sheetrock is just about all up. There's sanding in there, so it's very dusty and like that, but things are moving along. We'll soon be blowing in insulation. We're getting the ventilation in the ADA bathroom done. That got done today. It's moving along. We are, kind of behind schedule, but then we're, many things as with these projects that are unforeseen and then they come about and so you have to deal with it. So we're looking at January. I mean, it's December now, so we're certainly looking at January to have it completed. But it is moving along and we're happy with the progress and the mayor's helping with the HVAC and we're pulling together.
We're getting it.
We're gonna get her done. So, all right, thank you.
Thank you. Landmarks Commission. We don't have anybody here this evening.
Well, they didn't have a meeting or
Okay.
anything, so.
Okay, clerk and recorder's report. Madam Clerk, do you have anything?
Just request the 2023 holiday schedule. It's the same one we had last year. If you could approve that for me.
All right,
Approve it?
yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you
I
want.
move that the proposed holiday calendar for 2023 be approved by council as presented.
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second on the floor to approve the holiday observance of the town of Bath for next year, 2023. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Who's Rose?
Yeah, I don't know if,
She had to step out.
yeah, she had to go
Okay.
take her grandson to.
Oh,
Okay, Madam Recorder, do you have anything that needs to be brought up under Recorder's report?
I'm fine.
Okay, all right, then let's pay some bills then.
Town of Bath bills for this term total, excuse me, in the amount of $9,084.88. I move that we go ahead and pay those on behalf of the town.
Second.
I have a motion and a second on the floor to pay the town of Bath bills in the amount of $9,084.88. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
Okay, wait a minute, I'm trying to find the one for water. Right here. Okay, next one up is the water department bills for this term are $354.40.
That's Train Depot.
Oh, this train depot.
Rail Train Depot. The water's the one I didn't see.
The water is in the
Oh,
orange.
it's in the
They
thing.
always
Okay,
put theirs
got
in the
it.
orange thing. Yeah.
Okay. Which was marked. Okay, got it. The total amount of bills this term for the waterworks is $4,246.30. We go ahead and pay those.
A second.
A motion and a second on the floor to pay the Berkeley Springs Waterworks bills in the amount of $4,246.30. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Okay, next up is the train depot, and it's different from what your packet is going to show. The 103, that for the train depot banner, we're going to submit that to someone else
To
for funding.
Citizens National Bank, they've agreed to pay for, they've paid for several things at the depot, but it's the banner and it has their logo on it and all that, so.
So they'll get that bill and reimburse that. So the total for the train depot then is $251.40.
I second.
A motion and a second on the floor to pay the train depot bills in the amount of $251.40. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That motion carries.
And the last one is for the North Berkeley Rail Trail for stormwater design, in the amount of $220 even. I'll make a motion, we go ahead and pay those bills on behalf of the rail trail.
Second.
Goes in that stuff.
Have a motion and a second on the floor to pay the rail and trail bills in the amount of $220 even. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That motion carries. Okay. Tree board, we don't have anybody here with the tree board tonight, so we'll move on. Their next meeting is January 18th at 4. Grant, we don't have anybody here
Wait
for,
a minute.
Greg's there.
Greg,
oh, my goodness.
Greg. If he fall out.
His illness probably caused.
Okay, there's no report.
Okay. Public safety.
Just in time.
She
Rose.
got back here just in time. Public safety.
Rick, go back outside, Rick.
That's what I call putting me in the spotlight.
Well, I didn't plan that, but it just happened. Perfect.
Actually, I don't have anything. I just have our next meeting is, before our next meeting. It's 12:20 at 4:45. That's all I have.
Thank you.
Yes. sorry.
Cemetery, Beth isn't here, so we'll hopefully have something when she gets back from her trip. Public Works.
Okay. Well, we haven't had to use any of our snow equipment yet. We're gonna wait, we talked today when we met, we're gonna wait off and use up the salt that we currently have, which with what we got, probably more than 3 good storms worth, so we might have enough to get us through the year without getting new now, but we wanna use that old salt first.
Yeah.
I also wanted to just call attention to our guys that were here for the Christmas parade, blocking off roads so cars couldn't go up and down there, and by the time the tree was over, by the time I walked down to my truck, they already had most of the partitions already up in the trucks and putting them back up on Myers Street. So they did a good job.
Yeah.
That's about it for now.
Thank you. Ordinance, Chris.
Yeah, the ordinance committee met this afternoon. We are working on updating the town personnel manual. We'll continue to work on that, hopefully have something in the next month to present to council, hopefully.
Good deal, good deal. All right, Waterworks.
The water committee met yesterday afternoon. We received a progress report number 4 from Thrasher Engineering for our phase 4 water line upgrades and improvement project. The project continues to be on schedule. We are 43% through the project, so still the majority of the way to go yet. But things are progressing as expected. We are up to 85% of materials received, so we were at 75. So we're getting there on that. And so the contractors are just continuing to do what they can with the materials they have. They've been working along Wisner Avenue and Cornelius Avenue this past week. And let's see, where were they going to go from there? They said by the end of next week, they'll be on Cornelius and Mary Woods, and then back up to the cemetery. So they're moving all around, and we'll be back to every location they've been to at least once or more twice before this is all over. So, but it's ongoing, it's moving well, and and is on schedule. And that's the next meeting for the committee will be January 9th at 4:30, since the 2nd is a holiday, will be a town holiday. And that's all I have.
All right, we're at the point where I ask if there's anything else that needs to come before council this evening. If not, I will ask for a common consent to adjourn. Common consent, guys. We're in adjournment.